This Q&A is a whopper. Welcome to Q&A Thursday, where you ask me your questions and I do my best to answer them. This week's question is, what are the top most in-demand skills for virtual assistants in 2023? I like this question because it plays off of a very similar video that I released earlier this year about the most profitable niches for VAs. But this particular video takes it a little bit further. So if you haven't seen my previous video, go ahead and watch that one. It gives you this kind of stellar overview of what's happening this year. And then come back here and we'll talk about specific niches that are in demand. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to call this launch management. There are so many people nowadays who are getting into selling courses, for example. Courses have become kind of this hot topic, and I feel like it's hitting a fever point where people realize they could be selling online products or courses and making passive income. A lot of people are hiring launch managers to help them get everything off the ground. So if you're a VA specializing in launch management or course launch management, this might mean you're doing things like assisting with creating marketing materials. You are setting up social media accounts to advertise the sales. You are managing email campaigns to get customers to buy the courses. You could even choose to niche by working with particular people, particular industries. Like, for example, you could niche by saying you launch products for the health and wellness industry or the beauty industry, or you want to help coaches or life coaches or instructors launch their own courses. So there are many different ways that you could launch even within the launch management niche. Now we're getting really meta. So before I get too meta on that one, let's jump to the next one. The next most powerful skill is and remains to this day social media management. I've talked before in other videos about how management is different than maintenance. Social media maintenance is when a client gives you 10 tweets that they've pre-written and they say, put these up and schedule them for me. Social media management goes a lot deeper than that. It might mean that you are creating the content for their Twitter. It might mean that you responding to the replies and the tweets and the DMs. It might mean that you are measuring engagement and analytics to understand when their audience is online and the most active, or what kind of content they're responding to best. So management goes a lot deeper. It means that you really have to understand branding and marketing versus maintenance, where you are maintaining your client's social media. So social media management still to this day remains important. And again, that's because so many people nowadays online are moving to an online space where they're selling services or skills or products. This new one that I researched actually surprised me a little bit. I think it's pretty cool. It's LinkedIn management. So LinkedIn, if you are familiar with my videos, you know how much I love LinkedIn. It is this stellar business-to-business tool where a lot of business development is happening, networking is happening, job searches are happening. And as a virtual assistant, you can help your clients really optimize their LinkedIn profiles. You can help them grow their network. You can help write messages on their behalf. You can help find business opportunities by going through the search bar or by looking at job listings. So if you're the type of person who likes LinkedIn, is comfortable with LinkedIn, who's really comfortable with a lot of the different features that they're rolling out, you are somebody that could manage your client's entire LinkedIn profile. Personally, I think the people who are looking for LinkedIn management tend to be in the more corporate sphere. Something else I mentioned in the other video that I'm going to link to again is podcast management. And podcast management is, there's nearly 500 million people in 2023 who are listening to podcasts, and lots of clients, if they've not already launched a podcast, are in the process of launching podcasts. So you could be the virtual assistant who does every sort of podcast management for them from A to Z. You could plan their episodes. You could set up interviews for them. You could research things they could talk about. You could edit the videos for them. You could promote the show on social media. There are so many different ways that you could work with podcast management. And again, if you are interested in podcast management, I don't talk about this very often on my channel, if at all, so I like to refer people to Pat Flynn. I like to call him the godfather of podcasting. He's just a great resource because he's been teaching about podcasts and podcast management for so long. So definitely check out his channels too if this is something you're interested in. Relatedly, video editing. Video editing remains such a popular service, and I think will only grow in popularity. That's because we've got services like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube is also copying TikTok and that they're promoting shorts, and Instagram is promoting Reels. So if you're somebody who can or has interest in doing things like editing videos, maybe it's adding graphics, adding subtitles, maybe it's trimming footage, exporting the final files, if you are promoting those files, if you are sharing those videos between multiple different platforms, these are all insanely time consuming. In fact, the videos that I make for YouTube take up an entire day of just filming and editing. So if you're somebody who can be the editor, be the person that kind of takes the raw data and then turns it into this awesome, crisp, clean, actionable, cool video that can be repurposed, that is a huge niche that almost everybody who's working in business nowadays, almost every client on the planet has some need for video editing. So definitely a good one to keep in mind. Another one I want to talk about is content repurposing. Yes, it is possible for you to be a content repurposing VA, and that is all you do. Because when I have just been talking about videos, I've been talking about videos, podcasts, streams, tweets, all these things I've been talking about. The world nowadays is creating content at an unprecedented clip. Like everybody all the time is creating content to share value or tips or tools. And if you can be the type of person who can repurpose, that is, you can take one piece of content and you can turn it into multiple pieces of content. Or you can take an old, like year-old video and recut it and make it new again so that becomes refreshed piece of content. If you can be the person that repurposes content for your clients so that more eyeballs hit their content, and effectively makes them have to create a little less, that is a huge skill. Like nowadays, people are Googling things like, how can I turn one piece of content into 100 different posts? And if you can be the VA that has great organizational skills, good editing skills, a good mindset for how you can take one piece of info and turn it into like 20 different tweets, then this might be a really good niche for you. And it's going to be a niche that's going to continue to grow in popularity as more and more people create more content. Last one is email copywriting. So email copywriting is really interesting because email somehow still remains this day one of the more powerful marketing tools out there. Like if you're good at writing copy, you can offer this service as a virtual assistant, and you can write things like email newsletters. You can write sales emails. You can write welcome emails. You can create funnels that essentially welcome a client, then it funnels them to a video, and then that funnels them to a product. Like if you know how to convert sales email sequences, if you know how to convert email sequences into sales on your client's behalf, you are going to be worth your weight in gold to your client. Something I want to bring to your attention, by the way, is this tool called ChatGPT. If you haven't already heard of ChatGPT, click the link on this video. It's about to blow your mind because it is an open source AI tool that writes practically anything for you, including sales emails, and it can actually make you full sequences for email copywriting and email marketing. It's insane. I'm going to give you a taste of it just on this video, but trust me when I say that if you're getting into email copywriting and sales conversions, ChatGPT is going to be one of your best bets for getting into this industry and doing it with little background training. If you're still with me at the end of this, thank you. It was a long one, but I hope it was a valuable. I hope this was a valuable video just because there's so much out there. There's so many different ways you can be niching your business. And I find that every few years, these niches change. There's like a dramatic shift from what's in demand to what's not. So thank you for submitting that question, by the way. If you guys have any questions about your business or virtual assistants in general, leave me a comment. I try to get to each and every single video, and maybe they'll get featured in another Thursday Q&A.